Good morning, everybody. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Diego Grazio. I'm marketing strategics manager at Ibema. But more important than that, I'm a collaborator, and I'm very proud to be part of this moment. So, on behalf of the whole Ibema team, I would like to welcome all of you who are listening to us. Welcome all of you. Thank you very much for being part of this moment. Just like a birthday party, we always invite and celebrate with people that are part of our lives, that help us to develop ourselves, that helped us to grow, that were with us in moments of happiness and difficulties. Today, it's not a birthday, but more important than that, it's the celebration of a new moment, a new phase. We're not going to blow out candles, but we're going to reveal the new identity uh, of this beautiful, adventurous, and courageous entity. We're going to talk about our history. We're going to talk about our attributes, positioning, a new brand, and the positioning of a product. So together with me is Fernando Sandri, our Research and Development Director, Júlio Guimarães, Commercial Director, Adriana, IT Projects Manager, Newton, our CEO, Fábio, who was with us during the whole process, and Renato Mendes, our speaker of today, keynote speaker of today. So now I would like to give this floor to Sandri, who to tell us a little about our history. Thank you very much, Diego. Good morning, everybody. It is wonderful to be with you today. And to be able to talk more about Ibema. It was believing in the role of courage, thinking beyond the box, and doing everything with tact. We surpassed 60 years making our mark every day. Our brand. Since 1955, Ibema that emerges at that time, and today it is the third largest carton board manufacturer in Brazil, and we're very proud of this. We export to almost all areas all over the world, the Americas, Europe, Africa, and Asia, 800 collaborators and partners, and a portfolio with 14 products that deliver beyond expectations. And it was with the active participation of the Maya, Napoli, and Gomez families that this solid basis was grown. The família Maya began activities in Faxinal da Boa Vista today, and in the 70s, Napoli and Gomez joined the Maya families and created the Ibema Group with several companies. Working in Paraná, and developed a story that followed a constant path of evolution and transformation. So watch a video with us of the main moments of Ibema, the main highlights. So we begin with in the interior of Panama, in the south and Midwest and Northwest of Paraná. We notice opportunities of implementing Boa Vista hydroelectric plants. This became a mechanical pulp and cartonboard plant in Paraná. But it was through this, there is an implementation of a new paper factory in a city, in Ibema. And we continued investing with the implementation of a new hydroelectric plant in Turvo, and there was strong investment in the paper machine in Turvo. In the 90s, it begins to focus on carton board with professional management and changes its business perception. And then we have this accelerated growth, investing in energy with a new paperboard machine, which completely changed the paperboard segment in Brazil. Then we obtained special certifications. And then we had the first folding box, the GC2 in Brazil, Ibema Supera, Ibema Especiala. And then afterwards, we continue to grow. And because of its consolidated, with a strong consolidated relationship with the market, a new logo type is developed. We continue developing new products like Ibema Impona, Ibema Subera, and we conquered the environmental management certificate, and we renewed its position in the market. And then we have the Embu das Artes plant with a strong relationship with the distribution channel. It is the first company that offers the cup stock launch in Brazil. And then we have a wonderful relationship always with the market, always participating in events. Ibema knows that to change is to move on. And then we offered the Ibema Retagli, high stiffness. We had a closed circuit in Embu das Artes. We improved our communication, always communicating through digital networks. This year we launched Supera White with the highest stiffness in the world. And now we're here. And we're here to talk, to review our purpose, to show our new visual identity. And also we are very proud to say that we conquered the recertification GTPW. So this is Ibema. It's a company that changes, transforms, and moves on. I would like to wish you all a wonderful event, and my greetings to all of you. Thank you very much, Sandri. Nobody better than to tell us our story. Sandri, he represents it. He is the personification of the Ibema story. Now we're going to talk about our purpose. We're very proud to invite Fabio, who conducted this Ibema work and the role of as a consultant. He's a master in this subject. So now I will give you the floor because you understand this, Fabio. Good morning, everybody. As Diego said, my name is Fabio Mionitzik. I'm not going to talk about a purpose. I'm just going to tell you a story. I'll allow the experts to talk about purpose. Before man, I usually tell this story when I'm having coffee with somebody or in a barbecue, when people ask me what I do. So here we say, what is a purpose to build a brand? I could try to explain you technically what a purpose is, but I'm going to allow the masters here to tell us how you can do this in an organization. I prefer to tell you a story. The story comes before the man goes to the moon. There was a meeting in NASA. They were in a really large room, you can imagine, full. And Kennedy, the president of the United States, was in this meeting. I don't know if you remember. Kennedy was an extremely expansive, friendly, very handsome man. And he would talk to everybody, and there was a meeting. And at a certain moment, the waitress comes to the room and begins serving the people. And the meeting continues, and she serves Kennedy a coffee. And Kennedy, who was very friendly, says to the waiter, "What is your name?" And she answers her name. And he says, "How interesting." And said, "How long have you been serving coffee at in NASA?" And she looks at Kennedy and says, "You're wrong. I don't serve coffee at NASA. I'm helping to take man to the moon." The meaning that we attribute to our work is what makes our life significant. It is the origin of things. Today, we're going to talk about purpose because what I learned with the Ibema team is that there is a why. Why waking up in the morning, going to work? There is a reason as to why they want to make a difference in the life of the collaborators. And also there is a reason they want to be present and make a difference in the life of clients. So now I will give the floor to Adriana, but before, I would like to make a report. This work began around 2 years ago. Way back, 2 years, it was the first conversation, and what I learned here, which is one of the main preferentials of the company, are the people. And I think that this is what you already experienced, that you are part, and this is what you're going to learn to experience with the company. So now, give the floor to Adriana, who's going to talk about the purpose. And my message is this: let us all go to the moon. Let us give this greater leap. See a meaning in what we do, because it depends on what we do. And with these words, I conclude my presentation. I would like to thank the Ibema team for the opportunity. And Adriana, now you have the floor. Good. Thank you, Fabio. Thank you very much. So I am Adriana at Ibema. My role is to manage the IT projects and risks. And today I'm very happy to say that my role is to share with you the Ibema Manifesto, its values, and this equation. Together with manifest and values and synthesis, this means it is equal to our purpose. So I'm going to explain each item of this equation. Our manifest is the territory where our purpose is expressed, inside and out of the company. The manifest contemplates the locations of Ibema and the needs of the world, where our stakeholders and also we inside the company, how we're going to give life to this purpose. It is the beginning of the story, the history of the brand, and it is supported by values, which is the second item of this equation. These are the fundamental pillars. They define the rules of the game. They also stipulate what Ibema as a company does and what it doesn't do. And above all, the values support our purpose. So when we experience these values, we give life to this purpose. They cross values and manifest, and they self-feed each other, and they generate a purpose. And last synthesis is an impact phrase expressing our vocation, going towards the needs, meeting the needs of the world. So now let us look at the manifest and the values. You can see how each one is an important part of this content here. So our manifest, when we open a package, a world of possibilities open up for you. More than products, we pack well-being, experiences, and stories. Packages that pass from hand to hand every day, carrying the wishes of thousands of people. From the simplest of everyday things to surprising moments, we make sure that everything arrives at its destination and very well protected. A care that is reflected in the way we relate with tact and empathy. Thinking big and beyond the box, we meet the needs of our customers and go beyond, surprising with solutions capable of transforming your business. Because more than part of our history, believing in the role of courage is our daily life. Thus, we leave our mark every day, contributing to create an increasingly sustainable world for people, companies, and the whole society. We are Ibema, and that is how we face the challenges that make us evolve together. So now let us look at our values. We believe in the role of courage. Throughout our history, we face challenges with great courage, without fearing the risks and by making it happen. The entrepreneurial spirit that has brought us here is the engine that will take us even further. We ensure we compete in equal terms with the greatest players, and we ensure our business, our next value. We think beyond the box. With the same passion that we pack moments, we open our minds to innovation. Our desire to evolve impels us to leave the commonplace, promoting constant improvements with speed. We dream big, driven by the desire to bring a global vision to our business, always looking for expansion and growth. We do with tact. We're in constant contact through the experiences we pack, people we relate to, and communities we impact. A constant exchange that leaves us to act with empathy, to build meaningful relationships with a lot of caution and responsibility. We put ourselves in the other's shoes to deliver customer-focused solutions by always considering the environment and everybody that is part of Ibema. Okay? So now, it is us. We are Ibema. And that is, I would like to give the floor to Newton to review our purpose. You have the floor, Newton. Good morning, everybody. It is difficult to talk after Adriana because the way you gave us your message, and now I have the role of continuing, of going forward. But it's wonderful the way you transmitted the feeling of what we've been working so hard for in the last 2 years. It seems it was just a few months ago. Ibema, we unbox the future. For me, it's a privilege to be here today. I am very happy. I'm extremely happy to be participating in this moment, in such an important moment of its history. We saw the history of the company, we talked about our values and the manifesto. Now we're going to talk about our purpose. We unbox the future. Unbox. Packaging is the core of our business. In its most literal sense, packing heats up. It means taking care, evoking protection, referring to the balance that soothes the baby. Packaging charges energy, gives impetus, accelerates, sets in motion. We pack in the first person of the plural together. The future. The future closes everything that is to come. New possibilities. The future is a company that we want to be. Everything we're going to discover and conquer. The future of people that is part of Ibema, the society, environment, and the next generations. Before I give the floor to Diego, I would like to reinforce the idea that we want to impact you, our clients, not only as suppliers of carton board. We want, together with you, we want to be protagonists in the development of packagings. In a deep change here. The world needs more connected packagings with its new needs, and above all, in our planet. The world, post-COVID world, will be more aware of problems related to the environment, not only climatic changes, but also the preservations of environment and society. The oceans problem is very serious, so we can't just look. We amplify our purpose to be able to help impact more positively the world and its businesses. I'm sure that our purpose will lead us to decision-taking and will ally our teams for better solutions and more sustainable solutions. And this is where our strength lies. It is in this alignment of the needs of our clients and the planet. We are ready to help you with this challenge, and count with us, count on us. Diego, you have the floor. Wonderful, Newton. Thank you very much. So after all this work, this discovery, and together with this, we discovered that the current identity, it didn't represent what we want to be anymore. As Newton said, he said something. This need is what's going to lead us forward. And this is what we want. We want to introduce you with the new Ibema. Thank you. I hope you liked the video. We really understood that in the new Ibema needs to be modern, follow up on the speed of changes, and it has to be courage. It is daring, it is bold, it inspires, innovates, and unboxes the future. So the elements that protect are here, that embrace, and that package. Within vis-a-vis this work, we also rediscovered that, or at least we noticed more clearly, our attributes. These are behaviors that generally we see. It is our way of working, our personality. We are like this, and more than that, we want to be like that. We aspire to this. So the first one, and this we understand that many people will recognize this with the Ibema team. The first one is proximity. We establish a close relationship that allows us to closely monitor the day-to-day demands of our clients. We act and react according to our clients' needs, and we offer support at all times. Enthusiasm. Ibema is, we have a real passion for Borb, and we feel this when we talk with the collaborator. The material that has always been in everyone's lives ever since, we believe in this input as a biodegradable alternative for building a more responsible life. Superior quality. Ibema is always challenges itself. We put the best quality in everything we do, from the packaging board to the contact point. We inspire confidence and seek to surprise. We deliver beyond the expectations. Intelligence. Our expertise in carton board makes a difference because we put into practice the experience we have gathered throughout our history. Our knowledge comes down to intelligence, so we can always deliver the best and most appropriate solutions. So all of these behaviors, these attributes are connected with our values, going beyond the box, making an impact, making a difference. So based on this, we would like to introduce to you our tagline, Ibema. Pack, to pack ideas to involve people. Pack, it is the core of our business. Ideas, everything that has a value that we pack. We want to create new actions to surprise clients and consumers, to involve. These are partnerships that we cultivate. A care which is present in all our relationships, and we take it to the consumer. People are the brand owners, the large brands, printers, distributors, all the people that inspire us to want to create increasingly better solutions. Based on this, I would like to give the floor to our commercial director, Julio, to review our positioning and continue with our conversation, also talking about the portfolio and a pre-launch of a new product. Julio, you have the floor. Thank you very much, Diego. Firstly, it is a pleasure to be with you once again. And also, I believe that many of you were with us in the Supera White board launch. And this is an even more important moment of Ibema's history. Our friends have already told us the history. We reviewed our purpose. They talked about the manifesto, the attributes. And now I have 3 missions here. The first one is to talk about our positioning. Before revealing our positioning, I would like to share with you a certain correlation that exists between a purpose and a positioning. So when we talk about a purpose, and Fabio has already mentioned this, it is something more existential. It is what we are, why we exist. It's more something inside out, and a purpose evolves in time. Personal issues, we as people, and also the company. So when we consider positioning complements a purpose because it's dynamic. So positioning somehow obeys the logic of the target market that you end up going towards. And when we to give you a better example, a more informal, for example, Fabio's example, which is wonderful. We all, in one moment or another, we faced ourselves in a situation where we wanted to go to the nightclub to find a date. When you go to a nightclub, you still are the same person, but depending on the public that you're going to meet at the nightclub, you're going to adapt the things you say, the clothes you wear, so that at that nightclub you have a better conversion rate. And this is what we have here in the entrepreneurial positioning. Here, positioning will generate to us, will give us a guide, a direction towards investment, development, and also innovation. So it is done out from outside inside. So with regards to this process where we elaborated purpose, going to the end game, which is positioning, and something that is wonderful to see here, and I'm going to show you, some of my friends have already mentioned some spoilers, is the following. You, clients, many of you together with us today have contributed for the construction of this positioning, because more than words, a positioning, we have to see ourselves working in this way. So we trying to enhance our work and present ourselves in this way. We have 5 elements here: brand, competitive context, public, you, needs, and also we close with the differential we want to have. So based on all this context, I will review to you our new Ibema positioning. So we, Ibema, we are a packaging company passionate about developing smart and quality solutions created in partnership with brand owners, printers, distributors to deliver value to the end consumer. So you can see within this positioning, there is a strong correlation with the 3 main values mentioned by our team. A passionate, the courage, for example, going beyond the box, and also mainly contacting, involving the whole chain is what is going to guide us. And here, once again, I would like to challenge the whole, our whole direct and indirect customer chain, to involve us, to challenge us, so that we can contribute and give more value to the end client in terms of product and solutions. And this is what makes us very proud of our work every day. And this pride, it is reflected when we look at the different segments we work in, and mainly reaching thousands of consumers all over the world with the coffee they drink, with gifts, experiences, the different stories, present cosmetics, in sectors also with the pandemic scenario has even been more present in our days, which is protection of medications, maintenance of the integrity of food, and also security, the safety, personal hygiene, and personal care, home care, because this is increasingly more important for us. So this makes us increasingly more important as a chain, and also challenges us to continue always offering new solutions. A good packaging opens a whole world of opportunities. A whole new world of opportunities. And when we look at our sector where we're included, it tends to be really reason for us to be proud, and also new opportunities to be worked on. Because we talk about a pandemic, there are 2 main factors being discussed here. Okay, sustainability, climatic change, and here the management of natural resources, how we're going to manage natural resources for the next generations, and how we're going to manage solid residue. Pandemics resulted in a series of precautions that generate an increasing amount of putting things away, throwing things away, right? So when we talk about carton board, it's obvious that we have to have the benefits to work with renewable sources where we plant to harvest, and also based on a sector where we already have a high levels of recyclability. So we have another opportunity to continue to move on to work to work and to give this response to society. And in order to have even more efficiency here in our chain, we have this new brand architecture. So we have a new novelty here for use. This new brand architecture, the main pillars are 5 fronts. It aims to have greater ease in terms of our products with clients in Brazil and abroad. It will help us work more efficiently, strengthening our brand, and also it will have a categorization and a better utilization with regards to brand owners who's going to our site, will go to a specific site for that niche, or the printers, for example, who will go to the name of the product and going to the application that this product delivers. So starting from tomorrow, we begin with a new visual identity in our site, a new model here in terms of our product, and I believe that it's certainly going to be much easier to be understood so that all our clients can identify these new packages. The other 2 pillars I mentioned is to have a international classification standard, because before we were very Brazilian here, but now we're beginning to use international points here. So we created 4 categories where we allocated our products to guarantee that they exist to certain applications without problems. So cannibalization. So we have a standard line, we have the eco line, we have specifics line, and we have the cup stock line. Because a lane is a cup, it involves other products like this. This is to help with, is to allow for, so that we can go for solutions in terms of increasingly better packagings for the end client. And also, I would like to reinforce that it is affection that packs, that is care that protects. And mainly, it is what is most essential for us. To conclude, I would like to share with you a pre-launch of a product that we really do believe, and it is linked to everything that we mentioned in this new Ibema and how we are going to focus from here on, which is the business niche opportunities that will add value to the end clients. The surprise is our Naturali, Ibema Naturali card or board. It is going to be within the eco category. What is the concept here? It does not have bleaching agents. So it works with less chemical products than any other board available in the market or card. It also works with a high level of stiffness. So for you to have an idea, its stiffness is superior to the top line products like our Supera and Supera white board in the market. Since it's 100% virgin fiber card, it is work with the concept doing more with less in the fiber, a virgin fiber category. And its visual aspect is going to be cream tone. It talks with a series of international trends we've noticed. Opportunities of new boards for packagings that do not need coating application here. So its use certainly can be used in the food segment, also with Anvisa and ISEG Europe certifications. And also we've seen in Europe, we've seen a series of packages linked to personal care and home care. So we believe in the launch of this product. And so here we have some samples. For example, this is a joke. This is a little game. We created some mock-ups with the Naturale board. So this visual aspect that you have seen, sandwich, packagings, Japanese food, this is our Naturale card or board. And we believe in October, we're going to conclude all the promotional material. We're going to conclude, we're going to finalize all our commercial alignments so that in November, our team is in contact with you, clients, printers, distributors, brand owners, so that we can begin to map, test, show the technical performance, and evolve to a new solution to the consumer market. We are pioneer in Brazil in the production of this type of card. There are only players, no players in Brazil do this, only away from Brazil. So we don't want to lose this opportunity in this event. We're very proud of this, to be able to introduce you to this pre-launch. I would like to thank you, the presence of all of you here. I hope you like it. And once again, I'll give you, you have the floor, Diego. Thank you very much, Julio. And now that we have reviewed the purpose, our positioning, our values, the new, the new values. So now we have the participation of Renato Mendes. Change or die. He's an economist, a mentor of Endeavor Brazil. He's a digital marketing professor at INSPE. Welcome, Renato. Okay, you have the floor. Thank you very much. Can you hear me well? Yes, we can hear you. Great. Good morning, everybody. Firstly, I would like to thank you for the invitation, congratulate Ibema for the initiative. And now, Diego, I will give you a sign. So we're going to talk about innovation, about the need to change in a world increasingly faster with regards to its transformations. So I'm not going to spend too much time introducing myself. I worked at Netshoes for many years. I helped to structure that business. And then I set up an accelerator. I have a book called Change or Die, and I'm a professor at INSPE in São Paulo and Rio Grande do Sul. So firstly, I would like to begin with this idea of innovation in this world of transformation, everything happening so fast. I would like to begin provoking you. You can see two logo types here. So I would like you to think, which of these two companies do you imagine would be the most valuable? I know you're not going to be able to answer me, but I can see some people trying to consider this. I see some people smiling. Would it be Magazine Luiza? This most, it's a case here, or TikTok. And so to begin here, people are asking me what TikTok is. They don't know what TikTok is. Well, if you don't know what TikTok is, most probably your son or daughter knows what TikTok is. It is a Chinese app with very short videos with songs, and teenagers are just in love with it. It is part of a strategy. Chinese Chinese. It's the first Chinese startup that became a global reference. So if Diego shows us the next slide, we will conclude something that you already imagine. TikTok is worth more than Magazine Luiza. But even I was surprised when I did this research. But I couldn't imagine that it was worth more than three times more than Magazine Luiza. Magalu, for example, its market value is about $100 billion. But if you imagine that this app with short videos with songs is worth more than 3 times the value of Magalu, shows us that the logic of value generation is changing. This new economy is changing. So this logic of value generation is changing. Adhesion of consumers to new product is changing too. It's happening in a much more accelerated way. This chart shows us how long each one of the products took to have 50 million users. So you can here see airlines 68 years, computers 14 years. Pokemon, for example, 19 days. In 19 days, it had 50 million users. And you say, but Renato, the global population increased. Yes, it's true. It's not less notable because of this. So the way of generating value, which allows TikTok to be worth more than Magalu, and adhesion of human beings to new technology is happening at an increasingly faster speed. So what happens? I usually say that we are going through a disruption. So the way of generating changes, we have adhesion to new technology, which is much faster. The people that understand this, okay, but the people that don't understand are paying a very expensive, a very high price. So we see American companies here, the greatest companies in the American Stock Exchange. Today, they spend 18 years in the rank. That is, in the 80s, 35 years. Today, 18 years. Ou seja, if you don't change, you will die. You will lose room. You will lose space and give opportunities for the emergence of new players. And this is why I see this presentation that was made here today, and this perception to need to change, and the new strategy being done here today. And then what happens? For example, people have asked me, what is the role of COVID? For me, it's very easy. COVID is accelerating a process that would happen anyways. It is accelerating a process that would happen anyways. So this migration to digital, the different ways of brands generating value, this was going to happen anyways, but COVID just accelerated everything. So people ask me from WhatsApp, who led the digital transformation? Was it the CEO? No. The CFO? The CMO? No, it was COVID-19. COVID made the population migrate immediately to digital. And my mother did not buy anything online, and now she doesn't want to do anything else. She wants to buy her things online on the computer without leaving home because she couldn't go out. So we migrated immediately to digital, and COVID accelerated this process. This is what you can see in this chart. Look at this, from 2009 to 2019, a constant acceleration. From 2020, you have a break, a brusque acceleration, and we advanced, we grew, we advanced decades in just a few weeks. So COVID accelerated our digital revolution here. There is a perception that something happened that was very... So Magalu, according to BTG, suffered this wave. It was preparing itself for this. It was doing its homework, but it managed to surf this wave. And the companies that were not prepared, did not do their homework, they gained a second chance to digitalize their business models. So once again, the people that were prepared managed to surf the wave. The ones that weren't managed to have a second chance in order to do this process. So when you think of companies that traditionally lead this new economy, this new way of generating value, managing to have the loyalty of clients, we think of the startups of the Silicon Valley. People like Amazon, Google, Facebook, WhatsApp, some Latin American startups, Happy, Mercado Livre. This is the group that first understood this. They transformed this information into a business strategy. They operate differently. They manage to create competitive advantages because, once again, they considered the future before everybody else. They noticed in 2000 and something, they were able to adapt their business strategies and are having wonderful results now because of this. So when I talk about a startup, the world, Facebook, I know there are people. Do you remember this guy here? If you don't remember here, he was the Sukita uncle. He would look at the startup, he smiles, he desires, but and he knows that he's not going to be able to. Who don't know the Sukita uncle? Go to YouTube, watch the commercial. Those of you that don't know it, generally they know they are my age, like 40 something, when we talk about startup. So I have a bad news for the Sukita team here. You're not going to become startups. I'm sorry. If you believe you're going to be a startup, you're lying because this group have a completely different logic. But I have good news for you, and Diego will show this to you. Any person can learn how to think and act as a startup. Any company, generally, people change their way of thinking. They transform this in a way of behaving. Any company can be transformed into a startup with this mindset and action plan. And this is what I want to talk to you about to this. To when we with Netshoes and the accelerator. I've been working with startups since for 11 years now, and I summarized the best practices I read in the book I wrote. I would like to share with you, and also I would like you to reflect with me what can be applied in your world. I don't believe that the startups do everything right, and that traditional economy doesn't work anymore. No, it's not true. Both worlds have to learn with each other. And this is my challenge so that you can understand how these guys operate and see what you can learn with them and apply it in your world. I'm going to challenge you here for you to be able to at least try to apply one innovation, mindset, one startup mindset in 24 hours. This is the startup ways of doing small changes but very fast. So now we will see 4 learning points of the startup mindset. 1, startups are oriented to the consumer. They're consumer driven. Okay, so when I talk about this, consumer driven is that the traditional economy generally does what? They look inside. They're focused on product development. They plan all the time and they push a solution to the client and they hope that it's going to work. They want the market to buy their product. What do startups do? They change the perspective of product development. To put a client in strategy is to create products parting from the client perspective. It means create problems that solve the problems of real clients. So when we think of a product and then go after client, I find the client's problems and then develop. I always part from the problem of a company, a person. Where there is a need and a problem, there is pain. Where there is pain, there is a business opportunity. All of them do this. They all emerged. The perspective is not inside. It's not inside out. It's outside in. I identify an opportunity parting from a problem and create parting from this. It's a radical mindset shift. So usually I said it's important. A good startup solves the problem. It solves the problem of the client. In order to solve the problem, we have to understand what is the problem. The other day I was doing a sales workshop with a car company, and they said, we move people from A to B. And I said, so if you do this, for example, myself, when I called my office, I can go by car, but I can walk. I can rent a bike. I can call Uber, a taxi. I can go with my car. So they begin to notice when you have this problem perspective, not the perspective of the company. You see who the competitors are, because the competitors has to be driven because it will solve the same problem you have. So for this car industry that considered all the traditional competitors, the the provocation is leave your belly button, consider the client's problem. So, the first thing I want to share with you is this: we have to fall in love with the problem of our clients and not with our product. And I'm provoking you here. First, we have to solve the problem. The product has to be the solution of the product. There was a story that I think is worth telling you. I worked at Netshoes for many years. We were about to launch Netshoes in Argentina. I was working with Marcio, the founder of the company in Buenos Aires. I looked at my mobile and I said, Marcio, oh, there's a whole group of people in Brazil. Everything we do, they copy. They're cloning all our strategies, all our communication. I will never forget when Marcio looked at him and said, Renato, as long as they're copying us, it's okay. There's a huge lesson here. The people that are obsessed with the competitor will be at least a great a copycat. He's always going to be a follower. He's always going to be number two. So I'm obsessed with my client. I'm looking at his site. I'm copying everything. The startups noticed that to be the leader mindset is to focus your obsession on the client's problem, to know this, to innovate, to better serve this person. Do you see how the perspective changes? Of course, you have to consider the client, the competitor. The obsession is to work to offer the best experience to the client. You have to observe the client, talk with the client, really know the needs of the client to try to understand his. And what I can solve and cannot solve, to see how they're solved today. So I would like to be obsessed in solving client problems, and this certainly will facilitate things. And also, we have a startup in Minas Gerais, Max Milhas with miles for, air ticket miles, right? So what is the problem? You go, you do a search, you're going to see. What is the problem here? Is the cost of air tickets. There isn't a great differentiation here. Everybody is leveled. So you differentiate in terms of price. You want the cheapest price, the best. What does Max Milha do? Max Milha does a search. You have point A, point B, date. It says here, per search for 99 reais. It is the least price of the company, the lowest price of the company, the lowest price and company. So, but this doesn't make sense. Max Milha is saying that I'm going to get there, and when I buy, if there is a lower price, do I go to another company or would I conclude in their site? Yes, this is what I do, but they lose money. They spend a huge fortune to do media, generate traffic to the site, and they're giving me this lead. Yes, this is what they do. Why do they do this? Because they want to position themselves as the best solver of problems in terms of air ticket costs with Max Milha or with another airline company. They're willing to give up on the first sale to build something that is much more valuable, which is the trust of the client. Once I go to Max Milha and buy, I will never stop beginning my purchase journey with any other company than Max Milha. I trust in Max Milha. He will give me the lowest cost ticket, because if he doesn't have a lower cost, he sends you to another player. That's why people believe that Amazon is going to solve everybody's problems, because it does this. Do you understand the difference that exists here to focus on the problems? Do you think the modus operandi, the way of thinking of a startup is different and generates a way of working differently? So if I talked about being obsessed in the client and its problem, the second one is focus on the learning experience. The greatest startup in the world grows in cycles. That beautiful diagonal line, it doesn't exist. What exists are cycle, growths in cycle. I began to describe this situation in my book, which I called the theory of cycles, the champion and challenger cycle. Well, let's see one and the other, champion versus challenge. The champion is the current model. It's a series of actions that you worked on that resulted in today's work. Renato, but the champion model, there is a whole bunch of improvements to do. But then this is where you have the challenger model. It will challenge the way you do things. So when you understand that your champion model has to be challenged by a better and better and better model, and growth occurs in cycles, then you begin to notice that with 6 very simple steps, I can help you design your model, your challenger model. So you have to, the first, describe your champion model. So how do you sell today? We have a commercial department. What else do we do? We send emails. We announce in Google. So you list everything you do in the champion model, and then we generate improvement hypothesis. There is no bad or good idea. I want volume and quantity, then to extract quality. We would put 10, 20 people in a room. We do this via Zoom today. But when I see ideas, how to sell more and more and more ideas. And the third step, I get all of these ideas and I create priority elements, budget, cash generation capacity. And I want to test just a few ideas, 1 or 2 ideas. So how do you test this? The fastest and cheapest way possible, because that way I won't waste time nor money. What didn't work, I throw away and I look at the learning experience. What worked generates more sales. I will work to scale it as fast as possible. Why am I explaining this to D? Because all startups, all victorious startups innovate in this way. They understand the growth is in cycles, and they experience a series of things. They test. They do more than 100 tests a week. So, Diego, when you understand that growths come in cycles, immediately you understand to do. What makes you grow today will not work tomorrow. Okay, great, Renato. We managed to attain a target in August, September, but things will begin not to work anymore. Renato said I have to create a challenging model. Yes, you have to create a challenger model before the current model presents itself, for a very simple reason. There's not going to be any time to create a new model when the current one is no good anymore. That's why startups are always experimenting new things. They know that the current model will exhaust itself. So what can we do today? What is the hypothesis we're going to test today and tomorrow and the day after tomorrow, and begin to understand that the wheel has to continue turning all the time. So this is a curve that shows the volume of searches at Netshoes, Google Brazil. It's just great. So it would even be greater if it had this, because what we didn't count with is that the model of this company was challenged several times, at least 4 times in the 6 years spent there. There was a champion model, it was challenged, and then a new champion model and challenge. And I see that the cycles are even shorter. They would take 2 to 3 years, but we have seen some fintechs that are changing strategies every 6 months because the world is changing increasingly. Cycles are shorter. So what I need you to understand is that in the old economy, the person that had the best idea would win the game. But this will guarantee me a competitive advantage for a long time. The new economy, the person that wins the game is the one that learns faster. How do you learn faster? Experimenting things, success objectives, learn what doesn't understand, and advance as fast as possible. That's why we have another mantra with the new economy that I really like. Think big. Small, begin small. More important, advance as fast as possible. Think big. I want to dominate the world. Start small, begin with Brazil, and advance as fast as possible. So we talked that they're obsessed with client, they're focused in learning, and now we're going to talk about speed and risk taking. But why so much speed, Renato? Why, think big, begin small, and advance? Because slowness can mean losing an opportunity window. So when everybody operates at 200 miles an hour, I cannot do a perfect turn at 80 kilometers an hour. I need to speed up. I need to race. Otherwise, I would lose the opportunity window, which is open before me, and it doesn't open a lot. So each window that emerges, I need to be fast. And one of the Bezos, which is one of the icons here, he has a sentence that is wonderful. Most decisions have to be done with 70% of the information available. Because if you wait having 90, 100%, most probably will be late in your decision thinking. So to take a decision with 70% of information available means, in practice, risk taking. I am not sure of what I'm going to do, but I will decide anyways because I cannot give myself the luxury of waiting. I need to begin. This is what I say. To do something that is done is always better than something that is perfect. So I was talking with somebody, they were saying that they were for 1 year and a half planning the e-commerce. I don't want a perfect e-commerce after a year and a half. I want the best possible in 6 months, 3 months, 1 month. And then I will continue learning. I will evolve. I will improve. I will evolve. The done is always better than the perfect. And people who work with this logic have to understand they will make mistakes. It's not if I make a mistake, it's when I make a mistake. So I said that a startup as NetShips, they do 100 tests a week. You know how many go wrong? 70 to 80. 70, 80 do not work. 20 do. So when you make 80 mistakes a week, you're not so concerned with the mix because you understand that the mistake is part of the innovation process. You don't have innovation without a mistake. You don't have the creation of new things without some learning, the error steps. Learning. People that use a dunce hat will never create an innovation environment. Traditional companies will spend too much time trying to avoid mistakes. They can't go wrong. You have to plan. But you have to quickly correct mistakes and learn with them. When we talk that in a traditional company is a cruiser and a startup is a jet ski. Jet skis, they drown. They are always very fast, and the cruiser is much slower. It's very slow. So how do I do for a cruiser to have the same speed as a jet ski? No, I can change the mindset. It has to be obsessed with the consumer. It has to be focused on the learning experience and has to focus on speed. There's no other alternative to be competitive in the world. Here we have a philosopher to endorse what I say, Mike Tyson. He said everybody has a plan, all the way to they're punched in the face. Obviously, he's talking about a boxing plan here. We have a plan, but life comes and gives a punch in the face. So the need that we have to generate something that is that you can foresee. I don't do strategic 5-year strategic planning. I believe in vision, a purpose. I know where I want to get, but the plan is 3 months, 6 months. What happened with our 2020 plans? Where we spent weeks doing in October, November, and then certainly we have this punch in the face that Mike Tyson's talked to us. The rule of the game is not the capacity of foreseeing things. It is the capacity of being able to adapt. This is the difference that I want you to understand. It is not to generate anything that's foreseeable. It is capacity to adapt. And the fourth point to conclude is priorities for what really matters. I have several people I work as mentor for. We do weekly conversations. He said, Renato, I'm very proud. He showed his to-do list, all the tasks he had to do. I did everything. I did all of this, all the. And he said, great. People who knows how to do this is to do this. The best thing is to scratch out a task. You know, you did it. It's in the notions. You scratch. So how are sales this week? Not so good. So wait. It bothers me to see this mismatch between you did everything you should have done and the company is not meeting sales objectives. Something's wrong. And I asked him, and I want to share this with you. I said, are you doing what really matters? Are you, in fact, allocating your energy and time in things that will move the company? Our trend is to do a to-do list and attack what we most like. You have to be very diligent and understand that what we really should do, this is what will move the company. This is what is aligned with the key strategies of the company. I know a lot of people that work a lot but cannot deliver results. In São Paulo, you know this. The luxury is to say, I work all the time. I am very tired. I work 15 hours a day. Everybody you talk to works 15 hours a day. And it's almost an advantage you count. But the question is, are we going to award effort or are we going to award results? Because to award effort is just to count how many hours you worked on. I want you to understand that you can work a lot and not deliver results. And this is the worst of things because you get tired, you're stagnated, you're not working on what you should be doing. The startup people, what they teach us is it works with it's always scarcity logic. Always money is missing, people are missing, relationships are missing. So the best startup leaders, they have understood that they cannot give them the luxury to do everything. They cannot give them the luxury to do everything. And I learned with them that the plan cannot be a sum of desires. The plan has to be the capacity to make choices. A plan is the capacity to make choices. This means to do a trade-off, to leave things that I would like to do on the table. Warren Buffett said something that I think is just fantastic. Write your 25 personal objectives in a piece of paper, 25 things you want to do. So let's do it. And he said, what did he say afterwards? Focus on the first 5 ones. Never again look at the other objectives. Throw them away. Focus on the 5 first. This is the only way you're going to be able to attain these 5 objectives. And this is what we're talking about. When you operate in this abundant environment, the idea is that you're going to do everything, but you're not going to do everything. The scarcity environments oblige us to give priority. So the startup plan is not a sum of desires. It is the capacity of doing straight off. We have no other alternative. We have to change. That's it. Why change? Because it's good. Change is a need, more than good. It is to grow. It means to grow. We need to grow. And I don't like this term, but I don't like this term, but it's the new normal. And to conclude the challenge here, with everything I told you about, to generate value, what you can do different in the next 24 hours. And those people that want to coach, what is to learn, what you're going to do in the next 24 hours. No, it is the next 24 hours to begin to exercise the startup spirit. So I went over my time, I know. People that want to continue with this conversation in social networks, you can add. If you want to buy a book, you can see this. Thank you very much for your time, and I hope this message helps you to bother you a little bit in your daily life. Thank you very much. Great, Renato. Fantastic. There was a lot of connectivity with our moment. and even with internal decisions moment with regards to projects and what you said. Everybody has a plan until they receive a punch in the face. It's just fantastic. It's really fantastic. So it was said before that successful company are the ones that can see the obsolescence of their business portfolio before the competitors in the markets. And I think we're doing this exercise at Ibema. But I'm not going to continue. I'm going to give the floor to Newton to close. I would like to thank everybody that was here. Thank you very much for being with us. So, Newton. 1.5 hours, which was fantastic. I think we learned a lot. I hope everybody really liked this. I would like to thank Renato. Change or die. I think it is fantastic. To change, we have to have the courage to try. And we have to learn fast and adapt. We are the third greatest manufacturer in Latin America, but we have two giants above us, which is Suzano and Klabin. And we have to rethink every week we have to be fast to continue growing. And one day, not only bother them, not with regards to creativity, but in growth, because we want to growth. I would like to thank Fabio that gives a meaning to what we do. This was an extraordinary way of aligning efforts internally. Today we are focused, and without this, the courage of trying doesn't happen. So a team collaborating together, it makes me very, very proud to be part of this team. I would like to thank Diego, his team, for the effort and dedication of setting up this event. I'm sure it was a success. I received a whole series of messages congratulating our efforts. For today, it's a very important moment because it's a new beginning. So I'm very happy of being here. I am sure that we're going to have huge results with this new work. Thank you very, very much for your presence and participation here today. That's it. So we close here.